Hi. It's Sunday in London, 20 to 2 in the afternoon, pre-lunch, a little painting, wet the paper all over. I'm going to do I'm going to try and do a stormy scene over the Lake District. I've just put a few pencil marks there, just to remind me to leave, if I can, a little bit of pathway into the painting, which would be dark in part. So my usual palette of lemon yellow, raw sienna, alizarin crimson, light red, ultramarine, burnt umber, Payne's grey, which I'll put back on the palette. I'm going to keep my black for my tone studies with the raw sienna and burnt sienna, I think. Right, I'll put in some burnt sienna. I'll just clean up a little bit. It was a lovely morning. It was lovely and bright and sunny. Yesterday was a glorious day. Had my second barbecue, on Thursday and yesterday. And my barbecues are stir fries and stuff like that. But just to be able to sit in our garden after a long winter was just wonderful yesterday. And now we're back to March, when the sun has got in, but make it while we can. Reclip the paper. This is Fabriano, £130, 15 inches by 11. Right, so I'll clean that off, and I'll put in some Payne's grey, alizarin, quite heavy. Got a lot of this Payne's grey. The Payne's grey is only less than 24 hours old. I put it out yesterday, but I want quite a dark mix of that. See what happens. Nice dark on the top. Mix all the colours together, the reds, the blues, the grey. Very threatening. Okay. Right, okay, so a bit more on that left hand corner. Fred is in the garden. I think he's probably gone off with his girlfriend Elsa next door. They love each other when they're not bundling. Lovely to see. Okay, while the paper's wet, you can sort of do a lot with it. Right, let's clean the brush. I don't really want to labour this one. I want to just do it quickly. Sky colours. That thick, so let's just give a bit of blue on there. And now I'm going with the lighter colours, catching the light. There's some yellow on there. Well, after was it yesterday when I did the blotting out? It's not really me. I used to do the blotting out with a tissue paper or a sponge, but afraid it didn't have a good effect, so let's just come in here. That's my sort of path. Just going off into infinity there. We'll add some landscape in there as we go. Bit of shadow. Nice colours, pure colour. So the cloud. Trying to get the landscape to replicate the sky, what's happening in the sky. So this is a cloud over the land. Shadow on that path there, a bit more there, just a little bit. Right, now I'll put some nice greeny colours. Plenty of variety in the colours. We can even do a bit of scraping out with the card. Right, want some heavier stuff in here, some trees. Because they're so wet, I'm going to have to use really thick paint. Otherwise it won't register. Look. Just creating effects really. Moods, bit of mystery. It's a sort of a moorland scene. Just clumps of trees and bits and pieces. Blue, lots of blue in the darks here because I want to look a bit distant. Just some hedgerows going off into the distance there. Now, I want something on there because some blue in there. I don't know where this is going, I'm not really worried, I'm just showing some. Right, now let's put in some bluey trees on this down here, side of the hill. Just breaking the skyline there. Okay. Just start stiffening up some of these walls, trees. That's about all. It's really too much here. Nice lot of colour in this. I'm losing the intensity of my colour there, so I'm just going to go back on that. Bit of red, I think. Right, let's just etch out some bits and pieces. Now, a bit of card, and I'll just start to put in some rocks. It's just a bit of a wall. I'll just reclip it. Keep it nice and flat. So you don't need to stretch your paper. Let's drying a little bit there. Tumbling down rocks and things. Don't put too much in here on the path, just but bigger. A little goes a long way. I know I keep saying that, but it does. Okay, I can put more stuff in there if I need to. But I wanted the light to come through on this bit of landscape and this to be under a cloud, like I am drinking my homemade beer. But it is Sunday. Oh, lovely. English ale. No additives. Right, now I want to do a bit of texturing in this part, so I'll clean up the palette a little bit. So we've more or less done with the greens. I'll have to stiffen up some of that. It's drying quite a lot now. And some of the paint is, to a certain extent, disappearing into the paper, so we can just add a bit of detail in that. A bit of final flourish. Right, Hake. Go nice and clean. Take off the excess water. Bit of blue and red. So, well, we'll let that settle. I'm going to give this the hairbrush the hairdryer treatment. So, if you're listening on your headphones, take your headphones off. Now, with a bit of fake blue, I just want to continue that over there. But I don't want any details, just a bit of trees, just to fill in there where that's got a little bit wrong. So, okay, that just fills that in. We've got our distance with that blue. That hasn't got as dark as I'd hoped, but I'm not going to do anything to it now. So we'll put in a bit of texture on the road. I'll use a rigger for that. A bit of blue, a bit of sienna, burnt sienna that is. Just a rough sort of path going into infinity over here. Right, just sandy colour, I think, bit of raw sienna. Just a bit of warm colour in the foregrounds. Put a bit of red in there. A bit of texture on the glasses here. Burnt sienna, ultramarine, bit of yellow. Put those glasses in. Just a bit of texture. I've seen salt being sprinkled on watercolours, all sorts of things. You have to experiment. At the end of the day, it's your paper, your paint. You can do what you like with it. Not so much detail here. Just stiffen up here a little bit here. Just a bit of detail there that should be a bit more carefully done. But just the edge of the rigger, look. Just adding a little bit of detail. Not a lot, as we go into infinity, we don't want any detail there. Okay, just add, all adds to the overall effect. It's nothing really, but if you don't overdo it, it can be very, very effective. Just a bit of tree stuff. I love doing this. Wouldn't say I was born to do it, but shadow. But I didn't take a lot of interest in art, painting when I was a lad. That all came in my 20s. I started off in the print doing typesetting when printing was a highly skilled business. Or letterpress. But alas, computers have taken over it all. You could all these giclée paintings, which are jet sprayed oil, I think. I've seen them. In fact, I was in a gallery where they had a limited edition, and you couldn't tell the difference between the original oil painting and the giclée. It was so clever. Right, let's put a bit of a tree. Let's shorten it, but the paint's grey. Let's have one here. Just a little bit of a bit in the foreground. Probably needs to be a bit darker than that. Just about shows up there. Okay. I won't do any, that will balance that, so I won't do any more to that. I'll get my little people brush and I'll put in some figures there. Swig of beer. So red's always a good colour, but the light red is very, very strong, so beware. No, let's just get some figures walking along this path here. Bit of burnt umber, I think. A little head. And there's some jeans. Bit of rucksack back. Head's about the same height, the feet in a different plane. Okay, that'll do. This is only a quickie before my lunch. Birds. A signature. Even if your painting isn't very good in your eyes, always put a signature on it. You never know. There's always somebody who like what you don't. Okay, I'll put that in a mount. We'll have a little look and see. I'll put it in the blue mount. Alright, that needs to just go up a little bit now. Right, well there we are. Sort of a lakeland scene, mountains in the distance, probably a bit overdone there, a bit heavy. But I quite like bits of this. I've got lots of colour in there as it's come forward, because I tried to show this dark cloud showing a bit over the foreground here, but this in the light, but the light's there, it's over there. Maybe I should just put in a bit of a... oh, you couldn't see the shadow cast by those figures, could you? So there we are. I'll zoom you in. We can have a little look at that. Right, let's just go around the interesting bits. So that's my distant mountain. It's just a bit too blue, isn't it? But never mind. So there we are. Coming across, so there's like a moorland scene, Derbyshire, Lake District, Scottish Highlands. A little pathway going into the picture. Always have your figures going into the picture rather than walking out. Right, okay, let's zoom out. Well, there you are, a Sunday quickie before me roast. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye bye.